So Costas, one of the things that you were talking about in the book is the need to be very customer centric and understand what their challenges are and their context, which I think is a great thing to think about as well, the context in which they have the challenges and everything else. If you want to be very customer centric, obviously one of the things is to go talk to the customers, but you make very good points about where market research falls down, and also I like the idea of, I think people often think, well, the early adopters, they're the ones to get on board, and actually you sort of say that's not right either. So I just know if you could expand on that a bit about, as a company, who are the people you should be speaking with when you start to think about innovating?
Yeah, so again, putting it in the context of wanting to innovate a little more dramatically than just the incremental innovation, I completely agree. The early adopters are usually people who just buy lots of stuff, and they happen to get lucky because they also buy all the crap that doesn't become successful, which is often overlooked. There is a definition of this type of person defined by a gentleman called von Hippel, was his surname, and he talked about lead users. And that's kind of also the definition we use in our business to find the right people to talk to. These are people who are very engaged with the category. And it doesn't matter what your category is. It could be like, let's say, cliche engaging stuff like electronics and software, but actually there are lead users in stain removal, in toilet paper, in, say, dry soups, people who just love the stuff that comes from that category, and they're also a bit frustrated by it. So the lead user is someone who is not getting from the category what they want. And actually they're often the opposite of loyal consumers, because they shop around, because they know exactly which brand does well, and they know how to use it, when to use it. So these are the people, and they're about 10% of your customers will have this, say, trait. These are the people really to talk to. You want the ones who are not just complaining, but are also eloquent and thinking about solutions, and they'll be loud about this, so they will indeed be talking about this in forums. If you post out a question, as in, guys, we need some help on the new type of this new type of product we're developing, they will be on top of you with opinions and actually suggestions and ideas. These are really the people to talk to, and the difficulty in a big blue chip environment, which has a big market research team, for example, is that these people are not in any way representative of the general population. And that's exactly why you should talk to them for innovating, because the general population won't help you get to those big new ideas. But these, let's say, people who are in the avant-garde of what's happening will.
And how useful today, if we take this to the digital environment now, is social media, is online, in building a community that are engaged, that can help you with this? I mean, in your experience and with the companies you work with and in your agency, are you using social platforms? Are you engaging people through that way? Is it easier than it was 20 years ago, or is that not necessarily the case?
It's absolutely easier to find them, no doubt. But again, the key is not to look at social media as this is where they all are, because that's just like walking out into the street nowadays and just saying, let's talk to everyone. With these lead users, they will be talking very specifically about your product, and you could say you can extract from social media, whether it's through Twitter, through Facebook, or through any of the other main channels, who are really the interesting people there to talk to, and then to connect with them, because again, they're loud, they're making themselves heard. I do think, this is at least one of the things we do, is we take it on a project-by-project basis. So it's not like having your ear out all the time, because then you'll just gather way too much data and noise and signal will get all confused. It's probably better to have a very more specific topic, whether it's a big broad topic, like, I don't know, being better for the environment, or we need 3 layers instead of 2, something very small chunk. But at least have a topic for which you're looking for advice from that consumer outside, because otherwise you won't know where to start or really how to make sense of all that information coming in.
And where's there a balance? Because what digital and social media gives you is obviously the ability to engage directly with these lead users as you identify them, and you can do that. But also it gives you the ability to kind of, I say spy, but you know what I mean, to kind of just sit on the sidelines and listen.
Yes.
And to what extent, I mean, where's the balance between the two? Obviously, both are valuable, but where's the balance between the two, between direct engagement and getting their feedback, and actually just standing back and listening to what they're saying, what's going on? Yeah,
so they're both equally important, absolutely, and you can indeed, and even we have the tools to sort of sit sort of by the side, as you put it, like a fly on the wall, and just listen to what's going on. When you start doing that, there is one thing you need to gets sorted internally is some kind of criteria on when to actually move. Because you'll be hearing lots of things that seem interesting, but actually then aren't. And that's sort of when noise and signal get in each other's way. Because if you're hearing everything, it's very difficult to decide what really matters and what doesn't. So you need to be prepared when you start listening to everything. When do I actually stick my hand up and act? Or when do I actually then approach them individually, maybe even, to figure out what's really going on here, and is there something worthwhile for us as a business to go after? It's when indeed listening then all of a sudden goes from data to actual opportunities, and it's a two-way street in that sense. I mean, you cannot just hope to listen to everything and then say, and now we're going to act. No, you need to decide when is something interesting enough. How are you going to deal with that information that you're taking in order to make up your mind?